Hi, I'm Robin Miller, host of Miller Chat. My co-host Livesay was not able to make it due to snow and ice. We hope she comes back next month and she'll be able to maneuver the snow and ice that we have. Our show today is on SpedWatch. Our guest today is Ellen Chambers, the Executive Director of SpedWatch.
Yep.
Well, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome back.
Do appreciate it. Yeah, I was here a few years ago.
Yes, yes. Well, to remind our viewers, tell a little bit about what your organization is.
Sure. SpedWatch is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We operate as an activist movement for children's special education rights, which is a big handful. The issue, so we are an organization of parents, and mostly parents, but we have teachers who are part of our organization, and some clinicians. We have some advocates and some attorneys, but primarily parents of students with special needs. And our issue is the high rate of noncompliance with special education law that occurs in our public schools and the consequences that that has for students. And the fact that, unbeknownst to most people, students with special needs are routinely denied their educational rights. We've had laws on the books for 35 years, and for 35 years they've not been complied with, and we have children who are failing in huge numbers, and this is a huge injustice that's been happening underneath the radar for years and years and years. And so what we are doing is we are crafting a true civil rights social change movement utilizing the techniques of nonviolent direct action, and it's all based on the power of numbers. And so what we're doing, SpedWatch is providing a way for parents and others who are concerned about this issue of noncompliance with special education law. It gives those individuals a place to come, a place to organize and to take action in a strategic way.
Do a lot.
We do a lot.
Since 2007, you appeared on Kids First.
I appeared on Kids First.
And so what has gone on between 2007 and now in terms of past activities?
Oh gosh, an awful lot. Just to put it in context though, because we are a true civil rights movement, this is not an issue that is going to get fixed in 5 years or 10 years. Because what we're looking to do is just what women did when they were fighting for the vote, just what African Americans did when they were fighting to end segregation and disparate treatment. So what we're trying to do is change the entire way in which society views students with special needs. And so what we have, so the beginning of a movement like this, which frankly is going to take a generation or more for it to complete itself.
Yes.
But the beginning of a movement of this sort is all about raising awareness. Right now, people don't even know that this is an issue for many reasons, and so we work on raising awareness in various sectors of society, certainly among parents, but we met with Governor Patrick in the summer of 2009. It took us 2 years to get into his office, but we finally did it. It was a wonderful meeting. He had no idea at all about all of this, that was going on and how students were being denied their education. And, we told it to him like it is. We're very much straight to the point. We don't sugarcoat anything.
You're blunt.
And I told him, Governor, you have 17% of your population who's not going to be participating in your education reform vision. And they're students with special needs, and they're being thrown away. And here's what it's about. And that meeting was attended by Mitchell Chester, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education Commissioner was there. So that was a pretty big coup. The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education is now talking to us at the behest of the governor. The governor said, you must talk to these people. So while we're making very small headway, the fact of the matter is, a few years ago, there was no organization confronting the Department of Education and local school districts, really confronting them and holding them accountable for what they're doing to children. We were able to convey, we were on Chronicle show, Channel 5 Chronicle. Again, that's another thing we try to do is leverage wherever we can mainstream media. In that case, we, in September of 2007, Chronicle, and it wasn't Chronicle, it was Channel 5 News, aired a very detrimental story. It was a story very detrimental to special education. It was the usual story, how special education is bankrupting school districts, which is all the media ever covers.
Correct.
So we're trying to introduce the other half of the story. And we got our members together. We put pressure on Channel 5. We said, you've got to tell the other half of the story. And they did a Chronicle show on parents' experiences in special education. First time, to my knowledge, that type of show had ever been done. And it's just through the power of organizing parents. And we were very tiny then. We were only about 175 people. We're over 1,000 now. We pick up 7 or 8 new members every day.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, back then, weren't kids shipped out of their homes? I mean, I know being an advocate how people I'm aware parents had to force them or they were taken if they had disabilities, if they required chronic medical conditions. They were shipped out to these schools.
Well, prior to the enactment of special education law back in 75, 74, 75, of course, students with disabilities of all sorts had no right to be in a public school. And,
that's right.
Congress did their launched a big investigation, and they found that at that point there were 8 million kids with special ed needs in the country. Half of them were receiving appropriate education. However, 1.75 million weren't in school at all, and you know, they were home or they were institutionalized, and then there were another 2.5 million who were getting some sort of education, but it wasn't nearly appropriate for their needs. So yeah, we have made some strides as a society. We don't discount that. However, we haven't come far enough. And SpedWatch is all about pushing us to the rest of the way.
That's right.